Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the REC podcast, brought to you by the REC Toycast. I'm your host, Roman Chavez, and with me as always,
Eric Icarus.
Eric!
What's up, dude?
Dude, we're bringing people together
We
against
are?
the law,
I know
illegally, okay? We have some guests today.
Who?
We have the Big Tuna, Jordan Tunney.
Oh my
Hello,
God.
I'm back.
And then we have Dave Williams. Hadn't been on the show in a while.
Oh my God, there he is.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm 6 feet apart.
yeah. I am laying on top of Eric. We will be doing this. It's going to be intimate.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be an intimate show, boys. Guys, thank you so much for coming. We are abiding by the 6 feet rule, and we are classified as entertainment, so we can do this. Guys, how have you been? How's your quarantine going?
Very boring.
Very boring.
Very boring. I do still have to do some work at home, and it's not as fun as you think.
Yeah.
Because when you're at home, you kind of want to hang out and do nothing.
Totally.
But then when you couple that with responsibility, it's not even close
No.
the same.
No. Tuna?
Yeah, no, this thing has been a catastrophic nightmare. No, it's been interesting because I'm definitely I've noticed some of my habits are changed. Like being a teacher, like I'd always be in my classroom for 8 hours, and now being at home, I'm I need to go outside. I haven't been outside today, so I'm noticing some changes, in that regard. But it's that whole just kind of these responsibilities, and it's man, it's I feel like I should have enough time to get done when I want done, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I had misheard, the news, and I had been doing social diddling.
Oh no!
So just getting in there.
Oh no!
Gets any man, woman, anybody unlucky enough to cross my path.
I'm glad you stopped before it's a child.
Yes, well, I do have standards, but I was instructed, at least what I thought, was to socially diddle, and I apologize to any of our fans, but it was nice to meet you. It was nice to meet you. A lot of people are watching TV shows or watching movies. I am not. I'm actually watching. I'm supposed to watch 52 movies this year that I've never seen before. I've watched 4 so far, and they're really not any movies I've chosen. My wife's chosen them, and they're not really anything that have enriched me. They're not bad. Onward was one of them, so that was good. Okay. I haven't really been watching anything. I haven't been doing anything, but I tend to, like you gentlemen, speak in film quotes.
Sure.
And the one thing about this sheltering in place and staying at home order and this and that is, I'm sure you guys are experiencing this with your wives and loved ones, is that you'll say something and they won't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And I had work as an outlet for that, socializing and being able to speak in movie quotes and having people understand that. So guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about movie quotes. Let's talk about some ones that you like, some that maybe you don't, and just the movies that are attached to them. Eric, what do you got for us today?
I'm gonna go right out the gate. I'm gonna go with what's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know that quote.
You don't from No Country from Old Men?
No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
I just popped in.
Oh man, you don't know that one? Okay.
I've only watched No Country for Old Men a couple times. I like Anton Chigurh and I like the characters, but that for me is not a movie that I'm God, I can't wait to get home to watch No Country for Old Men.
It's that good, man. It's amazing. Jeez.
It's just, and I'm not saying it's not a good movie.
Uncultured swine.
I'm not saying it's not good, and I have seen it. Our buddy Schmidt, he said he didn't like it because there wasn't enough action, which is a fair statement.
Fair enough.
However, it's not what the movie's about. But for me, it's one of those things oh, excellent, but I'm good.
Right.
So I don't think I've watched it again since the theater.
Sure, okay.
So yes, please. What was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, just saying that I love that quote. It's,
What's the scene? I don't know it.
It takes place in a gas station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this friendly old man is asking Anton Chigurh how's the weather up where he's from, and getting a little too personal for him, and then gets a little upset, and then he asks him how much he's ever lost on a coin toss, and they go into it, and basically it's just a chilling quote.
Yeah.
It just kind of sets. I mean, you already knew who this guy was. He's just an arbiter of death. And this solidifies it. He's just chance. Your life is all about chance. You don't know if you're going to die walking out the door.
Yeah.
Did
he flip the coin on that haircut, you think?
I think so. He killed the guy mid-haircut. That's what happened.
You shouldn't open your mouth, buddy. Have you tried to use that?
Oh, I use it all the time.
Okay, cool.
All the time.
And
I threaten my subordinates with it all the time, man. All the time, man.
Do you have actual coin? Do you go that route?
Oh, I do, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Big Tuna.
Okay, yeah. So, Mine is and it's been used outside of movies because it's a part of a universe, but there can be only one.
Yeah.
And, I love the first Highlander, and there's stuff in the show and series that they've done that is really cool. I did just go back through and watch Highlander 2, which is just absolutely like I think I texted you today that like it was clearly written to be a different movie,
Yes.
and then they were like, well, contractually, we have Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery for at least another one. So they were like, let's shoehorn them into this movie. But I read this whole backstory today about how Highlander 2, The Quickening, like this whole thing with like Argentina, they filmed there because their economy was in shambles, and like the director got fired and all these like crazy things. But the line is used in like every Highlander TV show episode, is used in every single movie, regardless if it's Connor McLeod or Duncan McLeod. Like it just, but what I like about it is its simplicity, that it really just kind of wraps up the whole thing. And you know, in some of the mythology, they don't give you answers. In Highlander 2, they gave you terrible answers about who the immortals are, why they're fighting. But just that idea that there can only be one, that it's all going to like this point of ending, I think makes a really good line.
Well, you remember we had an episode that we need another Highlander, and we need it yesterday.
That's right, yeah.
Or in the future.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this quote because it's something you can say to your rivals.
Yeah.
Someone you work with.
It's applicable outside of the movie.
Can you stop threatening your coworkers?
No, never.
All right, Dave, I'm dying. I haven't seen you in forever, man. So like, I'm just talk. I'm not even gonna listen to you. I just want to see your lips move. Okay.
So no, when you first told me about talking about this subject, how do you pick?
Yeah.
How do you pick from all the quotes that could be out there?
Oh, guys, and we'll probably do multiple shows like this because I mean, we can't just say these are the end all be all, but. Right. I'm just, I miss talking to you guys in quotes, so this is why I need this.
Sure, no problem. So the one that's, I was thinking about today, which I really liked, it's from a sort of a cult classic movie. It's called They Live. And the protagonist is played by Rowdy Piper, and he goes into a bank.
The rowdy one?
He goes into a bank after I think he was evading the alien police, which is a weird statement. But
as you do.
Spoiler, if you haven't seen it. There are some aliens that have quietly taken over the Earth. But he's evading them. He goes into the bank and he sees all these aliens through his sunglasses. And he says, he takes his shotgun. And he says, "I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum."
I mean, one of the great lines. I love saying it to people, not just my coworkers though.
Right,
Yeah, Roman says it, and they say, "Sir, this is a Wendy's."
You see it to your kids and your wife.
Yeah. I've been saying that a lot, and it is not well received. My daughters love it. One of them just farts and falls over.
Yeah. Like the bubble gum, give me some gum. Yeah.
But I would challenge anyone to tell me any other quote from that movie because I can't think of any other quote
Not
from
this
that movie.
time.
Right? Yeah, maybe that. But like, that's the one thing that jumps out of my mind out of that movie.
Yeah.
And it's a good movie. It was directed by I think John Carpenter.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of good movies, but that's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah.
And can't say enough good things about it, and that's the one thing I always remember when anyone talks about that movie.
Oh yeah, that and then just the sunglasses. Like that's a movie that is craving a remake, and it just like how is that? That seems so easy. It seems so interesting, but maybe Disney's trying to put the kibosh on that because they want to do their scroll thing, and it's very similar.
Yeah, scrolly.
Yeah. I'd rather have some scroll stuff. In talking about this subject, I started to go rogue in a conversation, and guys, I couldn't pick one. I couldn't. So I'm gonna tell you a movie. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you a movie, and you guys will know.
Go around with a movie quote.
Well, Tombstone.
Just got them all.
The movie Tombstone has so many quotable lines that we all kind of say to each other off and on. Comes up every year at Comic-Con. I don't think there's ever been a year that we haven't quoted Tombstone. Doc Holliday. Dave even got to ask Val Kilmer a question, and while he was on the big jumbo screen asking his question at this Francis Ford Coppola movie panel, he held up a sign that said, "I'll be your Huckleberry." And I think that's amazing because if it's a Huckleberry you're looking for, a Huckleberry is what you found. But yeah, I'm your Huckleberry. I mean, probably my favorite one is when he's talking to his prostitute girlfriend. He says he's talking with Johnny Ringo, and they're talking in Latin. And the sheriff's like, "Hey boys, we don't want we don't want any trouble in any language. And Doc says, well, that's Latin, dear. He's like, evidently, Johnny is an educated man. Now I hate him. And it's just, he is the best at delivering just those lines, like, are we crossed? And what else do I've got? Oh, you're a daisy if you do. All of those things that are still valid today, especially, you'll forgive me if I don't shake hands. That applies to now, and I'm going to get a shirt like that.
Yes. After one of the brothers is killed, and they're like, we're gonna kind of leave and that sort of thing. They run into Power's booth, who is sitting there, and it's kind of like hey, we're leaving town. This is going to be the end of it. And he just looks at him and goes, well, bye. I just the delivery, because it's like, it's such like what are you going to do?
It's so dismissive.
It's so dismissive. Yeah. And it's way awesome. Yeah.
Everybody in Tombstone is everybody has a quotable line.
They do.
Yeah.
Everybody has a quotable line. Docs obviously are the best, but everybody has a quotable line. And I mean, even when spoilers, Mort is dying, and he's like, "Don't let him get you too, brother."
Yeah. Only Bill Paxton can deliver that line.
Yeah. Like you can't do that. And I think what we'll find with these movies, because I don't know what you guys are going to talk about going forward, is that like that type of line, like, don't let them get you too, brother. Like, nobody's going to get that unless they're friends with us. Nobody's going to understand that, like, code. Everybody has their own movie quote code.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah.
Eric, what do you got for us?
I have to go with the classic. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Oh, God. I mean, it's hard to not quote Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to not quote Die Hard.
That's definitely at the top of the heap. But yeah, there's plenty of quotable. And all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe except for the newer ones. I don't know anything to quote from that. Or maybe that.
After 3, they really lose their quote.
After
with a vengeance.
With a helicopter.
1 and 3 are the most quotable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker is just one of the best, just like badass lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're jumping off a building, or better yet, you're throwing somebody off
Exactly,
a building.
yes.
It's such a great, it still holds up. Like,
big time.
You can put that in any movie. You can do anybody saying that in a film and just look at the camera, and we'd all love it. Yeah. We'd all love it. As long as it was done right.
For me, it's like the I'll be back. I'll be back is so just played. It's not good. It's just lost it's trite. I hate it. But Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker is like, I feel like anybody could say it and instantly they're cooler.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. If you know that line, and if you were lucky enough to be a kid and see that line and just be like, oh, that's a hard MF, dude.
Yeah, on TV, it's going to be like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfather.
Yeah. I mean, even in the, fourth movie?
Yeah, he doesn't say it, right?
It's like as the explosion happens or something.
Yeah, as a gunshot happens.
Yeah.
It's as a gunshot happens.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
It's a metaphor for killing the franchise. That's what that is.
Shot it in its mimic. Okay.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah. Party pal.
Yeah.
I just bitten a 1,000-year-old Twinkie.
Yeah.
Come to the coast.
Yeah. Have some laughs. Yeah.
I love a good movie that has multiple quotes. Just things that you get. Again, we just started off 1 and we just rattled off 4 or 5.
Exactly.
What about you, Big Tuna?
Okay, so for this one, this is a longer one, and I wanted to make sure I had it so I didn't mess up any part of it, because it's... Yeah, so... Adam Sandler, 90s movie, Billy Madison.
Okay.
At the climax of the film, he's had to go K through 12, or I think first grade. He's got to do all of his schooling again in order to get his dad's inheritance and have his position in his wealthy dad's company. And Bradley Whitford plays the guy who works for the company that's kind of trying to stop him. And it all culminates in this trivia thing at the end of the movie where they're asking these questions and they're supposed to be, expound on this topic and these things. Well, Billy Madison, Adam Sandler, goes on this just crazy ranting thing. At the very end of his rant, this is what the principal has to say. I'll preface this. This quote is so fantastic to me that my first anniversary, my wife was like, so what would you want for a gift? And I told her, I said, honestly, honey, this is going to seem really out there. I want a stamp made of a certain quote. And she's like, oh, is it like, like something from education? I was like, well, kind of. And unfortunately, she's never actually gotten the stamp made. But this is the quote that I wanted. So Billy Madison goes on this crazy long rant, and here is what the principal says in response to Billy Madison's question. He goes, Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things that I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber from having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. It's a silly, ridiculous comedy. But it's just such like a jab at the main character, and it's just, I don't know. I've seen that like it's become like a meme, and people have like added in that like GIF of the principal saying it and all these things. It's a long quote, but it's like, man, it just like pulls me right back to just
I think it's because it's like before that, Billy Madison goes on this 10-minute diatribe about the puppy who lost his way.
Yeah, the book he read in first grade.
Related to like industrialism.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
Yeah.
So it made it seem like he had said something profound, and he's like, it wasn't.
A no or a wrong would have been fine.
I think there's a lot of good Adam Sandler quotes.
Oh, yeah.
And love him or hate him, which I did just watch his murder mystery in a previous episode. We talked about that, and it's not terrible. It's just okay. There were so many. Stop looking at me. Stop looking at me, Swan. Stop looking. Yeah, I haven't thought about it.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So good. So good. All right, Dave. You look like you're foaming at the mouth.
No, it's
Taco Bell. Gotcha.
Taco Bell.
Is that like COVID?
So, one of the other movies I want to highlight was Pulp Fiction.
Nice.
There are so many, I think, instances where you can quote the movie and pretty much everyone will pick up on it. One of the honorable mentions I want to talk about is where Bruce Willis gets away from the gimp and he's on his motorcycle. He's leaving LA, right? He picks up his girlfriend. And she asks, who's this? And he's like, this is Zed's motorcycle. And she's like, who's Zed? And he's like, Zed's dead.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that was a fun. That whole situation was fun for me.
Oh yeah.
But the one I want to focus on is when Jules, kills Brett. During the confrontation, right? And he's like really intimidating everyone that's there, and he shoots one of Brett's cohorts. And he's like, "Oh, did I break your concentration?" Right? And then it leads him into. The quote for Ezekiel 25:17.
Yeah.
I would say that quote, and I don't want to butcher it because Samuel L. Jackson did such a fabulous job. I won't even try. But the point is that whole passage right there, I think, is a great scene of the movie, and one that I think everyone who's ever seen it is easily going to recognize.
Oh yeah.
Can we throw out two things about that quote? Like, obviously the little Easter egg. I think it was in Winter Soldier.
Right.
Nick Fury's tombstone.
Yeah,
has the path of righteous. Yeah, but can we also talk about the fact that Jules, what he says
is not
the passage. Part of it is,
a little bit.
Yeah, and so that threw me off. I remember like watching Pulp Fiction in high school and being like, oh man, that's like super awesome, and like grab my Bible and flip to it, and I'm like, oh, that's not what he said.
That would be some cool stuff to say.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah, but you know what though? Tarantino wrote it so well that it sounds like it's from Ezekiel.
We could argue that that's in that universe.
In that
Bible.
universe,
yeah. That's the quote in there.
We could argue that, and if they reprinted King James Bible today, but
with
they changed it to
a Quentin Tarantino Bible,
Tarantino 25:16,
the QTV,
I would buy that. So if you're if you're hurting for Bible sales, this is how you do it.
Zondervan, if you're listening.
Another movie that comes up, especially in like that kind of with the group of friends that I grew up with, like Eric, and then kind of found its way into the group of friends I made later, and you guys. And it's all pertains since we all worked for a movie theater at one time. It's from the movie Dirty Work. The great Don Rickles has a line where Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang are ushers at a movie theater, and Don Rickles is either the owner or at least the manager, and like some big guys, important people from like corporate or something are there. So they're all kind of having a good time, all the employees, and Don Rickles shows up and he says, "Okay, the fun's over. Anybody messes this thing up for me tonight is through. Not only are you fired, your life is over." I'll see that you never work again, and that you wind up tearing tickets off in Kuwait. Kasal Mala de la Mala, and everybody's sucking sand. Nobody messes up tonight. Understand me? It was just one of those classic things, because we've all been ushers. We've all been ushers as theater employees, and it's just like, I did that at the job when I worked there, just for fun in a meeting. It was a little less racist, but it was still pushing the boundaries, Eric. So I didn't call my cohorts the MF, but I did do the scene, and it was funny. The rest of that movie is very quotable. A big one, and I always love it from my man Eric, is when Artie Lang's trying to go pick up that chick at the bar, and he's like getting ready. He's got that really tight shirt on. He's fat, and he's like, I live with my dad. Like, that's how he opens. And I always tell Eric to do that when he's like meeting ladies, and he just...
I just can't... I think I've done it once or twice.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Chevy Chase being like the doctor that owes the money. And he's like, I don't get it. I have to pay them back, but they break my hands, and I'm a doctor. Like,
Yeah, you know what I don't get? Is, say you owe a bookie a lot of money, and say that bookie breaks your arm. You still owe him the money. Like, doesn't seem fair to me. Chevy Chase has got like a gambling addiction, and he's the doctor, as we said in this film, and he's talking about like all of these like bad bets that he's made. He's like, Boston Red Sox, the Russian hockey team, Mr. T.
So wait, Mr. T.
Yeah, he's like, you tell me that you bet on a fight in Rocky 3, and you bet against Rocky? Hindsight is 20/20. Like, Chevy Chase just delivers it. Like, it for us as viewers, it's almost worth it that he's such a terrible person with his coworkers that you just get that gold.
Sure.
Nobody else could deliver that line.
No.
Nobody else could deliver that line to where you believe this guy's a doctor. You believe that he believes that what he's saying is an actual fact. And just hearing that line. Great movie. Pulp Fiction. We quote it all the time. Dirty Work all the time. Like, since their inception.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys have any other ones that you'd like to give kind of an honorable mention?
Yeah, there's one that I want to use, like, if I ever get, like, a certain job. Like, if I'm ever, like, a border patrol person.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be able to say, say, welcome to Earth.
Nice. Okay.
See if they get the irony, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, Mexico's on Earth, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. They don't know that. They don't know that.
The beaches might be, but the rest of it...
But you know what? Welcome to the party, pal would also work.
That would work, too, yeah.
Welcome to the fiesta. I wanted to throw out there, like, in my family and in my circle of friends, that, like, I went to a 7th through 12th grade school, so the kids I went to middle school with, I went to high school with, some of us lived together as roommates, we've been at each other's weddings, and, like, so, like in, kind of that part of our life, I had no idea until it clicked one day that all of my friends had grown up watching Christmas Vacation, and that was like our family movie. Like we watch it Christmas, we watch it in like June, and like but like that whole movie, I could probably quote 60% of it from my head, thinking like through the scenes, and just, oh my gosh, there's so many things. Chevy Chase lines, other people's lines, like doing like gestures, because Chevy Chase is awesome with the physical comedy.
Oh yeah.
Just like all those things. It's like me and my best friend Mason or my buddy J-Lo, like you get us in a car and like someone will say one line for Christmas Vacation and it'll just spiral, and we'll do it. We did it coming back from Steamboat Springs at Mason's cabin. The three of us were driving back, and we probably did at least an hour of like lines, and just like from that one
lines?
movie. Oh no!
Okay, sorry.
No, that was before we got in the car. That's how we did a whole hour of Christmas Vacation lines. Yeah, it was the 80s. But
sorry to Mr. Tony students. I know you guys listen to the show. He's a very clean and fine gentleman.
But yeah, I mean, Christmas Vacation, man, like just that whole movie. There's so many quotable things from it. From just about every character has like at least one like really solid. Like the secondary characters, just like little things here and there, and like a lot of quotable things. Even though it's a Christmas movie, there's a lot of application, and like you can use it in this scenario and that scenario. Like I greeted kids at the door right before we went on winter break, and I'm like, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And I'm just like, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like I could turn this into a Christmas Vacation quote, but like I don't want to deal with the paperwork. So yeah.
Oh my god!
I would have figured you would have have said something to the effect of, "I drink your milkshake from."
That's a good one.
Oh,
There Will Be Blood.
yeah.
I swear to God, when we worked at the theater together, you would say that damn line.
I drank a lot of milkshakes. I mean, it was very applicable at the time. Now I'm back on the lactose now. So.
I guess an honorable mention. I gotta go to Back to the Future.
Oh, go. Good.
Yeah.
Where we're going, we don't need roads, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, they have roads though in the future. That's so weird.
They don't need them.
Yeah, that's
do
true.
you not get the quote?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
right? Or Indiana Jones would be another one I'd harken back to, like snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Everybody give
Yeah.
me their Indiana Jones quote. Snakes, okay. And from any of the movies.
oh man.
Just give me the one that
Indy
jumps
was the dog's name.
Indy was the dog's name.
She talks in her sleep.
We are going to die. I love that. Just when she won't put her hand in the thing because all the bugs.
Oh man.
Oh god, yeah.
No ticket.
No ticket.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Oh god.
Right.
You chose poorly.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
boom.
No, I got her. See, and Christine, my wife's been getting on me because so this chick yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do work, housework, and so her and my daughter they start watching Captain Marvel, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't want to watch that movie. That's fine, and so I keep getting kind of distracted by it, and then I come upstairs and they're like 7 minutes into Endgame, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing? You know I'm trying to do stuff." And so I said, Echo, when Hulk goes to snap his fingers, come get me. That's the part I'm gonna watch, and that's what I did. I kept doing my work, and then I went back and I started watching Endgame because from Hulk snap on, that's the way to go.
Yeah,
that's the way to
I agree.
Go. You got any more honorable mentions for this?
Oh
area?
man, there's
It's-
too many. I'll hold it.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll come back. We'll come back to this topic.
I've got some ones that I hate.
Well, that's my next question.
Awesome.
Very good.
Awesome.
What are some popular film quotes that people like, and especially people around you, that nobody likes or that nobody finds it funny even? We can expand it on that. So give me one, Eric.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Is that Fast and
Fast and
Furious?
Furious.
Oh
Yes.
my god, that is the meathead douchebags to be or not to be.
You say that right after you pull the affliction shirt on.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it was like a reveille for them. It was just it gave them it was like this deep, profound statement to them, and it was almost like they were like, yeah, that's me to a T. And
Dude, I'll give you that, but when Gone in 60 Seconds came out, and for the following year, any skinny white kid teenager kept saying boost. Oh my god. They just kept talking about how they boosted a car. It's like, dude, you're at work. Why are you talking about this, you filthy liar? It's such a clunky verb.
yes,
It's such a clunky verb. I don't know. Sorry.
No, yeah, I just hate that quote because it gave these steakheads meaning to their life, even though that quote really doesn't kind of make any sense.
No.
And neither does those people's existence.
Yeah.
So
But man, those movies make some money.
they do, unfortunately.
Gosh. Hey.
Unfortunately.
I'd kill for one right now.
I mean, I think someone died for one, didn't they?
Look,
I don't know.
Somebody important.
I lost a bet, and the punishment for the bet was our idiot friend got to pick the movie we watched. We watched Tokyo Drift. It's the only Fast and Furious
that's
movie
the
I've
one
ever seen.
Me too. That's
The only one I've ever
seen.
seen.
To be fair, guys, that's probably the worst Fast and the Furious. Having said that, I've only seen 1, 3, and 5.
What?
and that is
messed
what
up the
I don't
order.
know why.
Stick with the prime numbers, I
I-
guess,
yeah.
or I don't know.
And I can tell you, 1 is excellent in terms of it is if you like Point Break, you will like
Oh
Fast and
man,
Furious.
I
1.
love Point Break.
And that's all that needed to be said. It was this perfect little popcorn movie that was 1 hour and 40 minutes long. Cool. And then they made 10 more or 9 more with Hobbs and Shaw, and I think Dave's watched all of them.
I have.
Yeah?
I have done the hard work for everyone.
Thank you. Do the Lord's work.
And let me. I don't even know why I got into this.
He was texting me. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch the Fast and the Furious, all of them."
Last year, it was summertime. I watched. You know what it was? I watched part 1, and I was like, you know what? I want to watch this in order. And that was the worst and best decision of my life at the same time.
Yeah.
I can attest to what Roman's saying. Those are probably the best ones. Part 5, I would
not Tokyo Drift.
Not Tokyo
yeah,
Drift.
but 1 and 5 are good.
I'd say 5 is probably the better one.
Yeah.
But it was not needed for them to continue the story, especially the way that they did. And the fact that you can't even watch it chronologically for it to make sense is also frustrating. But it was the hardest thing in my life to have watched all those films in succession.
It's like they're writing. It's like they're writing the story a quarter mile at a time.
I'll tell you, I've watched 1 a couple times. I only watched 3 the one time, and then I watched 5 the one time. And in the spirit of the show, there's a great, because the movie's not good, but it is entertaining. Is The Rock is going to arrest Dominic Toretto, our hero, okay? What's his name? Vin Diesel.
Oh.
And they're like in Brazil, and it's I love the quote, actually. He comes up to him and he's like, Dominic Toretto, you're under arrest. And Toretto says, that's funny, I don't feel under arrest.
Oh my God,
and then The Rock says, oh, give it a second, it'll sink in. And I was like, man, you guys just need to just kiss already.
like it was going to turn into the scene in Ghost where they're like doing the water.
There was definitely some foreplay going on in the scene.
We need to look at some point. We probably don't need to talk about it, but I will talk about it since we're on the topic of Fast and the Furious. The new movie obviously has been delayed, but can we please just talk about how Dominic Toretto has a half brother in John Cena? I don't understand this. And
is that supposed to be in the movie?
That's in the next movie, man.
Yeah, it's in the trailer, I guess, or something. I don't know.
This new character, John Cena, and he's like the brother of Toretto that you never knew about. And
but what about family?
right. This is crazy.
Except those half-bloods.
So, yeah, this is a terrible movie franchise, but I'm 100% committed because I watched all of it.
Yeah.
Sure. And I want to know what the hell's going on.
If they released another Twilight, I'd give it one more chance. Dave, I gotta hear it. Give me one that you don't like that you seem to find other people liking.
Show me the money.
Oh, good one.
I hate that
it's overplayed.
quote with passion.
I do too. I feel like I heard that quote for years before I even watched Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. That's the one. And what's crazy about it is that's probably the most memorable thing. Maybe because everyone kept saying it, and because Cuba Gooding Jr. Obviously did a good job in forcing Tom Cruise's character to say it.
Yeah.
I just hate it. Everyone that I know who've seen that movie, that's all they talk about. And I'm like, did you guys even watch the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
That's one of the worst ones, I think.
You had me at hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I actually like that one better.
I agree with you, and I don't really like it just because it got really beat to death in pop culture.
Yep.
But yeah, give me that over Show Me the Money any day.
Right, and I would never have taken Cuba Gooding.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. You needed it. Okay.
Did you have one?
Who's
I
coming
got
with
you.
me?
That was a better line.
Yes.
Who's coming with me, right?
Yeah.
Anything but that line.
Agreed. I can't wait to say this one because I'm definitely sitting in a room with people who enjoy it.
We got a man's over
Well,
here.
I mean, we can go out of order. I mean, I thought he said one.
I haven't. I was passed over like our Hebrew friends.
We're gonna keep it going, man. No, actually, yeah, I want to end on mine. So, well, not end, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
2 real short ones. So, gosh, this is frustrating. So I'll Be Back was actually on my list.
Okay.
I felt like it was overplayed, it was oversaturated, and I don't even think it's like that clever. Like it's not even the best thing in that scene, and but then it became like a thing that's used again.
Use it in all his movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It became a staple.
Use it. Yeah.
I love the movie Roadhouse. It's like a huge guilty pleasure for me. But he's getting stitches in the hospital, and she's like, "I'm gonna give you an anesthetic." And Swayze is like arm up, and he goes, "Oh, I don't need it." And she's like, "Do you like getting injured, or do you like having pain?" And he goes, "Pain don't hurt." And it's like, no, it does hurt. Like, it's like, I mean, I get it. Like, he's this whole like Zen, and like he's got this really weird backstory. But it's like I would have just like been like knocked on the door and be like, "Excuse me, I don't know what's going on here." But Dalton, you are going to feel pain. Like, you might be acting tough for this girl you're going to bed later in the movie, but, like, for now, like, just take the local and just,
you hate the quote for the logic.
I hate the quote for the logic. And that's the thing, is what I realized is, like, a lot of the quotes I came up with, like, Face Off is a huge guilty pleasure for me, but Nicolas Cage saying I can eat a peach for hours, it's like, yeah, so can my 94-year-old grandmother when she's not wearing dentures. Like, and I get it's got, like, a sexual subtext. Sure. It's just, I don't know. I heard it and I just stood up and I washed my hands. I didn't like the logic behind it. And then he, like, talks about, like, sucking on face and, like, just really weird, like, his character in the beginning of the movie is so, like, overdone and overplayed. Yeah. And just, I don't know, that line, just people, when they talk about Face Off Nicolas Cage, they'll mention that and I'm just like, no thank you.
Let me tell you, though, I like the setup for I Could Eat a Peach for Hours when he says, and it's one of my favorite villain quotes, which might have to be a separate show, when he says, if I were to send you flowers, where would I send them to? Wait. If I were to let you suck, if I were to let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful? That's some cold stuff and weird stuff, man. But that's a good villain to me.
Yeah. Castor Troy, man.
Castor Troy. That's
Castor
right.
and Pollux Troy. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it just feels like a lot of, like, sometimes when you think about movie lines, like I don't know, like, I love Star Wars movies, but the whole I got a bad feeling about this. Like, so many times, like, it feels, like, stuck in the movie on purpose. Yeah. You know, or, like, in, like, Rogue One, like, I love Rogue One, but, like, they're, like, saying it and, like, stop talking. Like, it's, like, a wink and a nod. So, I don't know. Sometimes it's just, it becomes part of a franchise that gets overplayed. And so I think that can sometimes kill the magic of the line.
And definitely, I think in that vein, Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah.
Or no, actually, isn't it no? I'm your father.
It's no, I'm your father. Yeah. But everybody says, right. Luke, I am your father.
That's right. That's right. Do you find, we're all kind of dads in the same right, and you're watching. I feel like when we were kids, there were far more pop culture references in cartoons. Especially stuff like Muppet Babies. You know, they've restarted Muppet Babies, and man, that Muppet Babies from when we were kids, that cartoon, I think was, especially Star Wars quotes, it was ripe with pop culture. This one, not so much. I wonder if that's just not if that's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that because today my son, I was bouncing back and forth between he'll say Elmo, and so we'll, like, go to YouTube on our TV and just do Elmo songs, find a YouTube Elmo video. He'll say Cookie, or he'll say Batman. And for Batman, we watch a long play of Batman Arkham Knight on YouTube. He just watches them play, because he watched me play, and I finished playing it. But we were going through Cookie Monster, and we came across two really random Sesame Street, like, shorts. One was a Harry Potter themed one, and then one was called The Spy Who Loved Cookies. And it's Cookie Monster, and it's actually incredibly clever. Like, we started watching it, and then he was like, airplane. I'm like, shut up, hold on. Like, I'm watching this. Like, go lay back down. But yeah, like, it's like Goldfinger theme song, but it's Ladyfinger, because it's like cookies, and the woman's like wearing Ladyfinger cookies on her dress. It's just like weird, clever stuff. Like, if you love Bond, like, you get the pop culture reference,
see,
But yeah, but it seems like the last, like, kids thing that really drove the whole pop culture was, like, Shrek.
Yeah.
Like, because the whole movie is, like, a pop culture explosion. Yeah. There's all these jokes that are, like, clearly aimed towards adults. Like, I think it's in the second Shrek where, like, the people run out of Starbucks across the street to the other Starbucks. Yeah. No kid is going to get that. No. But, like, anybody that's been in a slightly urban town will,
I think Animaniacs did the pop culture references.
Animaniacs did,
yeah.
The best.
It was so good, man. Like, it was so smart, and it was definitely, like, the prototype for, all these shows we have. All those people who watched the Animaniacs, and then, we get a great Pixar movie that has just references for adults. Right. I bet you it's because they watched it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it probably spawned, like, Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Bozeman and Jack.
BoJack Horseman.
I've never seen it either, but I heard it's,
Friend of the show, Casey Duke, really likes it. Ooh, we probably should have Casey here on this show, but he's
got a restraining order on me for some reason.
It's because you keep showing up at his house
and
making sure he's tucked in.
It's cool because you only have to stay 6 feet away from him.
It's funny that you bring up that you guys watch some Batman stuff, because a quote that I hate that everybody likes.
Here we go.
Is from Batman '89. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I dislike it for its structure.
Yep.
I dislike it for its use out of the Joker's mouth. I dislike it because of the connection to the Joker killing the Waynes. I just hate it.
But the kids love it.
The kids love it. Dave loves it.
That's
that's a Ghostbusters quote.
Yeah, when we worked together, he would say it to me all the time because he knew it infuriated me.
True. I never really liked the quote. Or I didn't. I was not passionate one way or the other. That is absolutely correct. I did it to just get under Roman's skin.
Yes, and it still does.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's documented that I'm not a big Nicholson or Heath Ledger fan. No, I'm joking. Nicholson fan of the Joker, and I just hate that.
Well, I hate that. How do you know how I got these scars quote? I hate it now.
Yeah, I hate it now. Yeah,
it's annoying.
It was fun. It did get like burned out.
He never answered the question either.
Yeah,
he lied too. He's a liar.
Like you tell me a story and
he's a fiend.
Then you murder me.
I'm sorry, if I'm investing my time to hear you say this before you decide if you're going to kill me, like, give me the truth.
Yeah,
you know, like, yeah.
Give me a quote that you say to your significant other, and they just they hate it, but you repeat it all the time. Oh man,
it's not a movie quote.
Okay, yeah. It could be any pop culture quote.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
So many times. Like my wife, she's making dinner, like virtually anything. She'll read anything out the recipe. She'll be like, skin the zucchini, and I'll like lean in. I'm like, maybe not. But then it fits in so many different places.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Yeah, it does. It does. That is what she said. I know Dave's wife.
I know. I say a lot of quotes, but nothing's coming to mind right now. So come back to me.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Eric.
I don't got a significant other.
When you did.
Wow, you were really twisting the knife, Roman.
I didn't want him to feel excluded.
Now it's on the.
Hey, remember when you were once happy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the quote right
there. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that I repeat. I don't really repeat any incessantly because, man, like my wife, she has no stomach for it. She doesn't play along. We have like our own like stupid quotes, but in terms of like ones that I repeat, I think when I was going through my Tropic Thunder phase, I think I was saying a lot of Tropic Thunder stuff. I mean, this was yesterday, and I was still saying Tropic Thunder stuff, which is obviously another ridiculously quotable movie. But yeah, I know Dave with his wife, he likes to do a lot of Simpsons quotes.
I do.
Yeah.
No, there's tons of that. I don't know why I do this, because it's not necessarily something I really am a fan of, but I think it was from, God, I can't remember. I think it was from, what's that marijuana movie?
Pineapple Express. I like how you said that marijuana, and we like knew we got there.
Right. That one character, he said, "I seen it."
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, Craig Robinson.
I seen you rip someone's jawbone off before. I seen it.
I think the movie's okay. Like, I don't hate it. I'll watch it from time to time. But for some reason, when I'm talking about something descriptive with my wife, I have to tell her, "I seen it."
Yeah. No, that's great, man. And I just feel bad. I've never met any women who like speak in movie quotes. And I know it just drives our ladies crazy, but man, it's the best. It's the best. Kids, that is our show for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Leave us a comment. Give us a quote that you like from a movie. Is there one that you like that everybody else hates? Is there one that you hate that everybody else likes? Like I'm very into that. Ooh, give me an obscure quote. I'll start.
Okay.
That you say that nobody else gets. Mine is from True Lies, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger just shouting for his daughter when she's like on the
airplane.
Yeah. He's like, Dana! Ah! I love that line. We used to say it all the time to each other in high school, but man, like, I love you guys because you guys both know what I'm talking about, and I don't really think I say that around you very often. Is there one that you like that nobody else really gets?
They'll be lost forever, like tears in rain.
Oh, Blade Runner.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jesus,
yeah.
You guys always know what each other are
Oh,
talking
yeah.
There you go, Rutger Hauer. Yeah.
God rest.
I think mine's it was a big pop culture thing in the early 2000s, and then kind of fell away. Arrested Development. There's always money in the banana stand.
Yeah. You do say, like, he'll text that to me sometimes.
Yeah, my dad texted me that the other day, and I don't even know if he's aware of the show. I think it's somehow like picked up in his mind, but yeah.
Well.
I honestly can't think of one.
Okay.
I'm going to have to save it for the next time
All
I'm
right.
here, but there are quotes that I use that make no sense. But I will say this. One quote that I do want to throw out there, I really like it. I said it to you a lot when we were working at the theater. Magneto, X-Men, we're the future, Charles, not them.
Yeah, you would always say that to me. Eric often misquotes Magneto and from X-Men 1.
What's a Magneto?
Yeah, that's a great line. But Eric never made me laugh. Like, one of the times he's made me laugh the hardest when we were watching the movie, and when he's always like, when Magneto's like, you Homo sapiens and your guns, Eric leans into me and he goes, you homosexuals and your guns. It just cracks me up. And still, if I see Ian McKellen, that's the first thing that I hear Ian McKellen saying that. He's never said it. He's never said it, but I hear it, and it's great. It's great. Guys, thank you so much for listening to our show about quotes. I am your host, Roman Chavez.
I'm still Eric Icarus.
Dave and Jordan, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And just remember that we could do this all day, and we love you 3000. We will see you on the next show.
That's what she said.